Thank you there, Iron Bow Singers, as well as all of our Gourd. How about a round of applause for our Gourd dancers already this afternoon? Man, I tell you what, we started right here, right on time. Already got about a dozen Gourd dancers already here this afternoon. And man, that says a lot about this community, you know, the support system that they have. You know, a lot of times you may go to a celebration such as this, and you may see, you know, maybe just a few Gourd dancers. And as Davey was talking earlier, you know, this dance comes to us from our Kiowa relatives. And it's a ceremonial dance, you know, the way they hold it, but they've shared it. And I say it's fairly new. So what you're witnessing is something that's fairly new to this powwow world. And when I say new, within the past 100 years, because this dance is very, very ancient. And again, there's a lengthy story that talks about, you know, the history behind this dance amongst our Kiowa relatives. Myself, I come from Sac and Fox, my Comanche relatives. I'm also absentee Shawnee, and I'm also Delaware. And so when I talk about this dance, you know, I kind of refrain, you know, the best that I can, but share what little knowledge I have about it, because again, this doesn't come from my tribe. And I feel more comfortable a lot of times, you know, having an elder or a very knowledgeable person to speak on their behalf about this dance, on what you're witnessing. But again, this dance is, you know, it's made to be shared with the people. And so again, it's been introduced to this powwow circle. And this afternoon time, we've got some good individuals that have been called upon to lend their expertise and share their knowledge with each and every one of us here this weekend. But without further ado, I'd like to introduce some of those individuals that are here. You know, you hear this beautiful music that is shared, you know, with our Gourd dance. There's a protocol and there's sequences that go with this dance. You know, there's a certain time that these songs are sung. And some of these songs have meaning. Some of them just have chants. Some of them belong to certain individuals, different societies. There's all types of meanings behind a lot of these songs. And so these gentlemen, you know, have to take the time to learn them. And, you know, it's not written down. And so, you know, it's a very hard task for a singer to have that ability to sit down and learn these songs from mouth to ear. You know, a long time ago, they would say that, you know, they didn't want these songs recorded because they believed, you know, that there was that much power within these songs and this drum. But these young men that come here this weekend and these young ladies that come and accompany them, you know, they're making a name for themselves all over Indian country with their unique style of sound and the way they sing. But they come to us from the great state of Oklahoma, around Red Rock, Ponca City area. Again, they come to us from the great Oto Nation, Ponca tribe. But ladies and gentlemen, how about a round of applause for our host Southern Drum this weekend, Iron Bow Singers, right over here. Again, they are one of the hottest drum groups, upcoming drum groups, and I don't even want to say up and coming because they are here. They are already on the powwow trail making a name for themselves. Again, they come from a long line, a long history of legendary singers from their tribes. I've had the pleasure of growing up with a lot of these men over here, you know, throughout the years, sitting around many different drums and different occasions. And so it's good to see them here this weekend. You know, a lot of things that, you know, they've gone through as a drum group family with the past, you know, year or so, you know, I would say. But again, you know, they continue on to do the best that they can. And so I'm very, very proud of them and to be able to share, you know, the weekend with them on head staff. I also like to introduce our head Gourd dancer here this weekend. Also a gentleman that I've grown up around this powwow circle, but not only there, you know, I have close relationship with his family. And I've known him for quite some time, ever since, you know, we were just obnoxious young guys, and now we're obnoxious older guys, I'll say. But he comes to us from Shawnee, Oklahoma. He's a proud family man. He's a champion dancer, champion straight dancer, a champion singer, and he is the tallest Gourd dancer you'll ever see. How about a round of applause for our head Gourd dancer here this weekend, Mr. Michael Plumley, right over here. He didn't even get up to wave. He could just wave his hand, and it looked like he even stood up. That's how tall he is. But also I'd like to introduce our head lady dancer. I see her here this weekend, this afternoon. She comes to us right here in Livingston, Texas. She also, again, a proud mother, a proud companion, a champion Southern cloth dancer, as well as Southern buckskin dancer, but also Alabama Coushatta style of dress. Again, I've watched this young lady grow up in this circle with her family also. How about a round of applause for our head lady dancer, Tohani Williams, right over there on the far side, beautiful purple dress. And again, as I was talking earlier about these songs that you're hearing, and you've seen already there's been honorings that have been taking place in this arena. Sometimes you'll go to different celebrations and you'll hear the MC, he'll make an announcement of what honoring has taken place. And at times, I used to do that as well, but I've had some very, knowledgeable MCs that have come to me and instructed me because, again, I'm very, very new at being an MC. And myself, I'm more of a dancer first, a singer second, and I'll, help out when called upon to be an MC. But, they were telling me, different things, how they were taught growing up to talk before the people. Amongst a lot of our tribes, you have to be given a right to be able to speak. As a young man that I am, coming from my Comanche relatives, my grandfather used to always tell me, son, when it comes time that you have something you want to express, tell your elders, tell somebody older than you to speak for you. And I took that to heart. I paid attention, but at the same time, he used to always tell me, he said, son, he would call me son, not grandson. He would call me son. Say, at times, he said, there's going to be a point in your life where people are going to approach you and they're going to ask you for help. They're going to ask you for certain things. And you don't hesitate. You answer that call because that person has seen fit to ask for your help. And I took that to heart, but at the same time, I was a young boy, but I would play around the arena with my cousins and different individuals that I made powwow friends with, and I would always listen, pay attention to what those MCs were saying. My grandpa again instructed me, so one of these days you're going to talk for our family, you're going to be the spokesman for our family. It didn't make sense, I didn't understand. But through time, as I became a young man, there would be a different honoring taking place, and I would be standing in front of the people talking about my relatives. And he said, it's going to go further than that. And again, I didn't understand, and before long, I got asked to serve as an MC. And I knew that those protocols, and so I turned to some legendary MCs that I've grown up, that I, descendants from. And one of those individuals by the name of Hammond Mota, I was serving as head man dancer at a celebration. The very next weekend, I was going to be serving as an MC for the very first time, and I went to ask and talk to him about some of these protocols that we have. And as I was telling him, he said, you know what, grandson? He said, that's awesome. He said, because us older guys were getting tired, and somebody's going to have to pick up that torch and carry it on for us. And I was just not understanding, a lot of it. And, myself at the time, I did not want to speak in front of anybody. I was nervous. I was a nervous wreck. I would get in front of the people and start talking. And, being the way I was, man, I'd want to start crying and, start messing all kinds of words up. But he said, you're going to be all right. And he said, I'm going to give you this right to be able to speak for our people and be able to speak at these powwows. And he said, when you do this, he said, you do it with all a good heart and good intentions, and you'll never go wrong. And he said, but grandson, he said, it's grand entry time. He said, go ahead and get ready, go over and get, because I was head man dancer, and I was leading all our men in for that weekend. And he said, no, grandson, come back. And he said, you're going to bring us in grand entry. I said, I know that's where I'm going. He said, no, and he handed me the mic. I had no chance to get scared. I was like, oh my God. So here we went. I was so nervous that I started before the arena director even told me they were ready. But that's how I got my start right there. And so I've been very fortunate, to be able to serve as a MC at different celebrations. And so I said those things earlier, to some of you young people that I see in the crowd. There were some young individuals that were sitting up front here. Always pay attention, because you never know in life where you're going to be called upon to help out, whether it be amongst your community or your different celebrations, or even in your schools, and different times you're going to be asked to help, and I gladly extend that invitation to help out to anyone, whether it be in the powwow circle, in the workforce, or any type of things. I try to help out, because again, that's what we've been instructed to do as Indian people, to be good and good, kind, and loving to one another. Back to what I was talking about with these songs, talking over this drum as an MC. As you've seen these honorings taking place, a lot of times these songs, they have meaning, they have purpose, they belong to certain individuals. And so you've seen these different honorings that were taking place. One was our head gourd dancer. He was being honored by an individual. After that, our head gourd dancer went and he honored one of our royalty that was here in attendance. And when we bring them out a long time ago, they would say that these individuals, when they were being honored, maybe a long time ago, maybe they did a good deed in battle. Maybe they had a successful hunt. And when they came back, they would honor those individuals with gifts. They would ask for songs, and they would sing, and they would celebrate. And so that's kind of what you're seeing today, but a long time ago, they would place maybe hides or buffalo robes or instruments that we can use in battle or our daily lives. And those were those things, and after that song was over, that individual could pick those items up and use them however they saw fit. Today, you'll still see that, but sometimes we see it more with monetary donation of $1, $2, $3, $5, $10, whatever the amount they want to use. Sometimes you'll see blankets to this day. Sometimes you'll see gourds. You'll see different instruments laid in front of these people. And after that's over, they can pick them up and they can use them. That's theirs. They can use it however they see fit. And so I encourage you folks here today, if you see that, and man, I like the way they do something. Man, they're honoring an elder. Maybe they're honoring a young person. You can too come into this arena, place monetary gift in front of them, and they say you'll receive a blessing. That's something that we practice still to this day. That's an ancient teaching. And so also, I mention that because our singers too, we always pay our drum. We take care of them. We watch over them. We bring them food. We bring them water. We bring them drinks. We take care of them because without our singers, we wouldn't be able to dance and have a good time. And so as I made mention, I don't like to overtalk, our drum, because a lot of times, these songs, they have prayers within them. They have meaning. They have purpose. But it's just like you, when you drive down the road, you hear your favorite song on the radio. You turn it up and you start jamming out as you're driving down the road, and maybe you have a problem that's on your mind, and maybe you're feeling a little bit under the weather. A lot of times you forget about it. It takes you to a different place because you're feeling that music. As Iron Bow was singing earlier, I always look around the crowd to some of our non-native visitors, and I see a lot of people, sitting there, you're vibing with that music. And, that music has taken you to a special place that you feel that spirit that's here. There's a powwow spirit. There's a gourd dance spirit. There's a spirit that lives within our drum. That spirit that lives within our drum at one time was a living, breathing creature where that tree trunk was hollowed out to make the rim of our drum. The hides that cover it, whether a long time ago be a buffalo, a steer, a cowhide. And we still use those today, and these gentlemen, they take care of these drums. When they get home, they take it and they put it in a special place in their home. It has a place. It doesn't stay in the garage. It doesn't stay in their car. Likewise, when they get done this evening time and they go back to wherever they're staying, they take it in. They take care of it. Even when they're sitting around it, a lot of times they'll even put a blanket over it. They treat it like a grandpa. Sometimes I've heard they treat it like a grandma because, again, it's the heartbeat of our people. We'll take care of it. These instruments are very, very powerful. I've heard that they can heal. They can make people feel a little bit better. And I hope you all receive that blessing today, that when this powwow is over and we all depart, you'll talk about it. You'll tell relatives of what you've seen. Maybe you'll come back. The spirit that's here will make you want to come back and enjoy, this good music, this good way of life that we have as Indian people. So I just wanted to share a little bit of those teachings with you all this afternoon, because again, I see a lot of non-native here this afternoon, and I welcome you all on behalf of myself, but on behalf of the host tribe, the Alabama Coushatta people, and we say welcome to our celebration here, the 55th annual. And so, with that, I want to turn it back over to Iron Bow Singers. Again, I know a lot of folks have come to Gourd Dance and not listen to me talk all day long, but if you did come listen to me talk, I feel sorry for you. Nah, just kidding. But with that, we're going to Gourd Dance time this afternoon. It's Gourd Dance time.
Thank you, Iron Bow Singers. Thank you, gentlemen. Gourd dancers, make sure you stay hydrated. We have water stations to my left and to my right. We do have plenty of water available in case you need it. We ask you to do stay hydrated. Now, my brother Marty was talking about all those songs that most of these songs were composed by the late Leonard Kozad Sr. And I'm just sitting here tapping my fingers, tapping my feet, tapping my head to these songs. Now, if these songs aren't making you do the same thing to you, then there's something absolutely wrong with you. But anyway, we thank you to Iron Bow for that set of Gourd dance songs. Also, I'd like to thank the Hunt brothers for serving the pizza for this afternoon at the hospitality tent. I understand that they are completely out, but we do acknowledge them for having this opportunity to bring their pizza here for us to enjoy, and we certainly do thank you for them. And we're going to continue here till about 4 o'clock, and it's about an hour and 15 minutes with the Gourd dance, and we'll have another supper break, and we have a special occasion, special presentation for you from 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock, and we'll resume the Gourd dance again at 5 o'clock this afternoon. This all leads to the grand entry tonight at 6:30 p.m. So if you got some friends on their way, tell them to come over here to Alabama Coushatta 333 Dakota Road and put it on their GPS and tell them how to get here. Speaking of how to get here, we found a phone, and it's been turned in. It's up here, and it's the GPS is still locked onto this location. So if you're missing your phone, I know you're here because it leads you right to this place. So if you're missing a phone, we have it up here. We'd also like to thank all the Gourd dancers that are here this afternoon. We have members of different societies here with us this afternoon. We'd like to acknowledge the Gulf Coast Taipei Society and your bunch for being here this afternoon. We also like to thank one of the, I call him one of the longest members of our tribe, well, not longest, but the longest to get here. And he comes from the Batiste family. I'd like to acknowledge Mr. Jack Batiste Jr. over here on the left-hand side. And this Pow Wow celebration is actually a homecoming for the Alabama Coushatta people. We have families from all over that come here specifically this weekend, and we all have our own homecoming celebrations here, and this is one of them. Jack Batiste Jr. is actually from the Alabama Coushatta Reservation, but currently he is residing in Hawaii. So he's come all the way from the state of Hawaii, crossed the big ocean to get here, so we acknowledge him. The Batiste family is very instrumental in getting the very first annual Pow Wow started here on the reservation. Him along with the Tejano family, Mr. Vernon Tejano Sr., the late Vernon Tejano Sr. was very instrumental in having the very first Pow Wow located here on the reservation. We acknowledge them also. So Jack, it's good to see you this weekend, sir, brother.
Yeah, Jack came all the way from Hawaii. When he came back, he was saying, Alila Maloha. Did you get that? Also, just yeah, see, I've had a lot of folks, come by and say, hey, you need to tell some jokes. And I'm not much of a joke teller because I either have the real bad ones or the dad jokes. And man, I'll get moved off the stage here if I share the dad jokes. But, if you ever get the opportunity, if you come to Oklahoma, surrounding states, and you see on a flyer, J.R. Ross, if you ever see that name as the MC, you've got to attend because he will keep you laughing the whole time. And he is here, so I might have to get him up here a little bit later on and tell some jokes. He is a stand-up comedian, a native stand-up comedian in the house here this weekend. And so, again, we've got a lot of native celebrities that are here, but as they were talking earlier about 6:30 grand entry, I invite you to get back here around 6 o'clock. Find you a good spot because at 6:15, we're going to invite all of our royalty, all of our princesses that are here. They're going to come up and they're going to introduce themselves and let you know who they are, what they're all about. And again, they always have some beautiful words to share. As again, you'll see a lot of royalty, young ladies that, maybe they represent their tribe or their family or their school, their community, sometimes their clan. They'll share a lot of information with you. And again, a lot of these princesses, they run for those positions. And when they run, sometimes, they call it a pageant. They'll go and, they'll talk about things that they want to advocate for. And so a lot of times you'll hear some of our young ladies, they'll talk about things when they come, and they always bring a good message. So 6:15, if you're not here, also tune in to PowWows.com. Michael Gabbard is here. He's set up back here. They are on the World Wide Web, as I made mention earlier. Last night, it was almost record-setting numbers for a Friday night. They had over 100 countries tuning in from all over the world, tuning in to what was going on right here. Over 150,000 viewers were watching the World Wide Web last night, watching our celebration take place. And so, again, those were almost record-setting numbers for a Friday night. So let your folks know, PowWows.com on Facebook and YouTube. They even have a website, and on the website, they've got all types of information about powwows. Anything that is going on, you can type in your state, and it'll show you all the powwows that are going on, that month or that year. And so if you enjoy your time here, you can always find another celebration going on somewhere nearby. Speaking of powwows going on nearby, next weekend, if you're looking to travel to the east of us, about a couple of hours, over in Kinder, Louisiana, the Coushatta tribe of Louisiana is hosting their celebration. They'd like to extend an invitation to all of our spectators and all of our dancers and singers over there next weekend. It's also a 2-day event, Friday and Saturday. Again, it's held indoors in their awesome facility that they have also. And every year we go over there, and it's always ice cold, and you can imagine what the temperatures are like over there in Louisiana. Not much different from here, but it's always a nice facility and also opportunity to go and spend the weekend down in Louisiana. So we invite you over there in a couple of weeks, and we also have some other flyers up here. We'll read them off throughout the day. And so, again, we'd like to invite you for many different celebrations going on all within the state of Texas. And so, again, there's never too far of a drive to go and, check out another celebration in a different location.
I have one for you. It's the second annual Leap and Apache Tribe of Texas Veterans Powwow that's going to be held on September 20th, 2025. This is going to be held in Corpus Christi. My brother Marty Thompson is a master of ceremonies for the powwow. Also, I believe it's a 2-day powwow. No, it's a 1-day powwow, free admission, and it's held right on the beach. So it's a very fascinating arena to be in. That's the American Bank Center down there in Corpus Christi. We've got a good head staff. As host Southern Drum is Young Bird. Host Northern Drum is Eagle Point. So jot that on your calendar. That's the second annual Leap and Apache Tribe of Texas Veterans Powwow. Saturday, September 20th, 2025 in Corpus Christi, Texas. And also save the date. On November the 8th, 2025, it's the 5th annual Dallas Powwow at the AT&T Discovery District in Dallas, Texas. Intertribal Council of AT&T, and their princess is here this weekend, Miss Maddie Little Creek, and that's the 5th annual Dallas Powwow, Saturday on November the 8th, 2025 in Dallas, Texas. Put that down on your calendar also.
Also, one more, November 22nd. Put it on your calendar. I know it's a long ways away, but it will be here before you know it. November 22nd, Austin, Texas. Over there at the county fairgrounds over in Austin, where they have the Austin Rodeo. Real nice venue, a huge venue over there. It's the largest one-day celebration in the state of Texas. So go over there and check that one out. That's always an awesome time over there. A huge, huge celebration. Also want to give a shout out to my good brother Jan. Only the coolest are born in November. Yeah. All decked out in Texas gear. Again, a well-known individual here in the state of Texas, also doing some awesome sound.
Also, if you're enjoying this Gourd dance, there's a few celebrations during the 4th of July weekend. I believe on the July the 2nd, 3rd, and the 4th, the the Type A Society of Carnegie, Oklahoma will be having their celebration. I believe they hold their celebration east of Hobart, Oklahoma. That's on July the 2nd, 3rd, and the 4th. Their annual celebration of Gourd dance, song and dance. So go out and visit them. Also, the Kiowa Gourd Clan is also having their annual celebration. That's also on the same dates, July the 2nd, 3rd, and the 4th. That is held in Carnegie, Oklahoma.
Also want to give a plug to our T-shirts back here. We do have commemorative Pow Wow T-shirts with a beautiful logo on the front. And go check them out. They're right over here to my right, which would be the left side of the stage. If you're looking toward us, right over here, they have some beautiful T-shirts. They have a beautiful logo right here on them, right here. They have different colors. They are $25, all types of sizes. So get your commemorative Pow Wow T-shirt. Again, you can only get it this weekend right here. So go over and get you a Pow Wow T-shirt. They've got all different types of colors over there. But with that, check out all of our vendors. Go over and see my good buddies over there at Res Ribbons. Get you a nice ribbon skirt. Get something for the holidays. Or I'm trying to think of what holidays may be coming up. Valentine's Day's already passed, but Father's Day, go find your Father's Day a gift over there. But if you're like me, you wait till the very last minute when it comes time for Christmas shopping. And if you're like all Indian men, we run around Walgreens because that's the only thing that's still open, or Dollar General, trying to find all those gift cards that you can find. After that, you have to start buying candy to give to the kids because you ran out and you waited too long. So start your Christmas shopping now. It's never too late. I believe our Iron Bow singers have gotten some pizza down, so we're going to turn it over to them. Let them sing a little bit more Gourd dance time here in this beautiful Saturday afternoon.
Yeah.
Thank you, Iron Bow Singers. Beautiful songs for a beautiful Saturday afternoon. 55th Annual Alabama Coushatta Pow Wow. Thanking all you Gourd dancers again. Make sure you stay, get plenty of water. You know, it's been a good 2 days so far. Last night we danced away until the wee hours of the morning. I guess it's about 2 o'clock when we left here. We're going to try to do our darndest to try and get you out of here around midnight, but that's never promised. So we're just going to play it by ear because we've got a whole slate of contest categories that we got to run through. And we have a total of 4 specials that we're going to have after our contest is completed. So if you have a late night plans to do something tonight, I believe you're going to be here most of the night. But you are certainly glad if you chose to be here this afternoon. It is extremely hot and humid. We had a joke earlier yesterday. It's a little bit cooler than it was yesterday. Yesterday got to 95. Today it's only 93, so we're doing good. You know, some of these are Gourd dancers we talk about up here. Some of these are celebrations, especially the ones in Oklahoma. Some of these Gourd dancers, they started around 2 o'clock, and they can go as far as most of the time. The longest Gourd dance session I've ever been to, we started at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, right there at Chieftain Park near Carnegie, Oklahoma. We started at 2 o'clock, and we sang and we danced. We sang and danced, and we took a small 1 hour supper break, and we resumed the Gourd dance again, and we Gourd danced till about 11 o'clock at night. Had about an hour or two of social dancing, and that was it. I remember those days, and you know, as a singer, it's always kind of good to hear all these songs that are brought back into the arena. Some of these songs are fairly new, but most of these songs are over 100 years old. They're not written in any song book anywhere, and it's all these singers have all these knowledge of these songs that are passed down from one another. Iron Bow Singers is a very intelligent, great, young, up-and-coming group that are traveling the Pow Wow circuit, and we certainly enjoy these gentlemen for being our host drum this weekend. They come to us all the way from Red Rock. Again, let me introduce to you our head Gourd dancer, Mr. Michael Plumley, comes to us all the way from Shawnee, Oklahoma. And my name is Dave Johnson. I live here on the reservation, and I'm 63 years old. I remember the very first annual Pow Wow that had a celebration here. It was we used to have a tourist complex approximately 3 miles east of here. And at that tourist complex, they had a little arena there, 4-sided arbors that they had, which showed dance performances for the general public that came here to visit on the reservation. That was the location of the very first annual Alabama Coushatta Pow Wow. That was around 1960, 65, I believe, or something like that, when the tourist complex was, we still had a tourist complex then. Perhaps one day we'll bring that tourist complex back, but in the meantime, we're glad you're here today. Make sure you stay hydrated, drink lots of water.
Also, if this is one of your first times attending a powwow, we like to say welcome, but also it's your first time visiting this community. Again, check out all the things that they have to offer. You know, right down the road, they have, you know, their tribal headquarters, you know, back like he was talking about, where they used to have their first annual powwow. They used to have all types of things back there. Now that's where they have their casino. One of the proud sponsors of this event here, one of our major sponsors that, you know, put this celebration all together. But also, if you go drive back a little bit further, they have a beautiful lake and cabins back there and tent camping area. And so, again, you know, if you ever have the opportunity to come and spend the weekend with them down there, it's an awesome and beautiful area, some beautiful trees. And just it looked really nice this morning. I pulled in late last night, had to come straight to the powwow, and the accommodations were over there at the campground. And when we pulled in, you know, it was just pitch black. I couldn't see anything. But when the sun rose, you know, I peeked out and I got to see, you know, the beautiful landscaping. And, man, I tell you what, it is very, very top-notch. So I encourage you to come over there if you get an opportunity throughout the summertime. You know, maybe come over and spend the weekend with them. Check out the casino, even the little casino over here. They came over. I went over here this afternoon and checked that out. And, man, I was like, man, I think all of our tribes should have something, you know, just like that. And, it's pretty nice to see, how far, this community has come. I remember coming down here a long time ago, with my mother. My mother had a close relationship with the Johnson family and also this community, this tribe, as they worked, hand in hand, with our youth, throughout the United National Indian Tribal Youth Unity. And I came down here, many years ago, and the first time I got to meet Herb Johnson and Davey and the brothers here. And since then, we've held, a close relationship with one another. And so I feel very fortunate, again, to be able to come here year after year, year after year, and keep those relationships going, that my mother established, and sometimes even my grandparents, maybe established relationships, going to Haskell University. I come from the Coffee family on my Comanche side, and so again, there's a lot of folks that, have known that name for quite some time, if you ever attended Haskell throughout the years. So I just, have a lot of relationships and a lot of relatives, as Davey was mentioning earlier. A lot of our folks that we have down here, that we see down here, our relatives, and when I say our relatives, we may not be blood related, but through the relationship of maybe our folks or maybe even our kids nowadays, but even some of the relationships that we've made, through the goodness of this way of life, powwow, we have extended family. And sometimes those family members are just even closer than our own blood relatives. There's many family members that are here that, I've spent more holidays with them than my own relatives. And not to say that that's a bad thing, but again, it just shows the love that we've gained with one another through the power of this way of powwow that we have, or this way of song and dance. And so again, I always encourage people, when you go to a new community, make friends, because again, those can be sometimes lifelong friends and relationships that you'll have. I can travel to many different celebrations all throughout Indian country, even into the provinces of Canada, and I'll have somebody there that I can turn to that's a relative, and they'll look after us as such. As a young man, I can no longer say mom or dad. I don't have that ability. But through the relationship of our powwow ways, I've had individuals that have come through my life and have taken those roles to where today I can say mom, I can say dad. And one of those individuals is here this weekend, and I'll make mention of him a little bit later on this weekend, and it's good to see him. And those words that, we talk about when we call relationships, whether you're brother or sister or dad or mom, uncle, niece, grandson, granddaughter, a nephew, those words that we use. When we go around powwows, you'll hear those words a lot of times, thrown around. And sometimes you'll hear the word bro. I have many, many bros, but I have very few brothers, true people that I can consider brothers. And a lot of these individuals are here this weekend. And that's one teaching that when I was growing up, that when my folks told me, if you ever call somebody a brother, sister, mom, a dad, grandma, grandpa, you treat them as such. You take care of them. You watch over them. You treat them as just like they're your own blood and relative. You love them that way. And so again, today, I look around and I see a lot of relatives that I can actually say, that I have a lot of folks, a lot of relatives here this weekend. Likewise, as Davey was sitting here and he said, my little brother Marty, talking about myself, it makes me feel good. It makes us feel good that, I can come down here and I can reach out to any of his family and they'll help me out at the drop of a pin, a drop of anything. They would do anything. And so again, make good friends and relatives with folks around here as you're sitting close to somebody. Introduce yourself. Find you'll never know that you may know somebody. Somebody may know your family as you sit close nearby. And so that's what powwow is all about. Right there, you'll see a lot of good expressions made. You'll see individuals come up and they'll talk. You'll see these honorings being placed. You'll see some of our little ones dancing, or maybe some of our elders dancing. And again, that's what it's all about right there. We dance and we sing for those that can't. We sing for those that once could. We sing and dance for those that have gone on, and we also sing and dance for those that are still yet to come. Because I know, there's many prayers that were said on our behalf from our relatives that, these ways would continue. And that's what we always want for a lot of our relatives too. We pray for those that are still yet to come, the ones that aren't even thought about yet, that they're going to come and they're going to take care and pick up where we left off. And so those are some of the teachings also that I like to share with all you good relatives. And again, those are some of my ways that I have. As I come down, I always like to share, some of my teachings. It may not be your way, it may not be your teaching, and I respect your ways. because that's one word that I've always been taught is to have respect. Because again, I see a lot of things, being shared on social media nowadays. Some things I don't agree with, but I respect it because again, those are their teachings. And so, sometimes, we can look down and sometimes discourage our young people to want to take part. But I always try to encourage everybody. It's never too late to maybe learn your language, to maybe learn, these protocols that we have. It's never too late to become a singer. It's never too late to become a dancer. It's never too late to learn how to maybe do beadwork, sew, quill work, make fans, make these instruments that we use, again, because again, it takes a special person to have that ability to sit down. You'll see these beautiful outfits that are going to be coming in this arena throughout the day, and these outfits can take years amongst years to prepare. And so, there's a lot of things, a lot of meaning, a lot of significance behind all these outfits that we wear. And so you might sit down and talk to an individual, hey, what does this mean to you? Because my meaning might be a little bit different than their meaning of what it means to them. So there's, again, a lot of things that we like to share with all you good people as you come and witness, these things that are taking place here this weekend. Also, as I made mention, there's different celebrations going on, and we'd like to invite you to the 13th Annual Celebrating Abilities and Disability Awareness Pow Wow, June 28th and 29th. This is a free event and open to the public. It's sponsored by the United Houma Nation over there in Louisiana. This will be taking place in Houma, Louisiana at the Civic Center, an indoor event. Some of the head staff is here this weekend, and it's a Saturday and Sunday event. So we invite you all over there. The host Southern Drum will be Young Bird. Host Northern Drum will be Medicine Tail. So we invite you over there. Our good brother Hati Delgado from the Comanche Nation will be MC over there. Again, a young man that I really look up to also as a MC, but he's also taken that initiative to learn his Comanche language, and so it's always good to hear him as he shares, a lot of his ways behind this microphone. Also over there that weekend, our head man dancer will be Blake Crook, head lady Bridget Blackow. Head Gourd group will be the Red Rock Creek Gourd Society out of the Oto Red Rock area. So we invite you all back down there to Houma, Louisiana, again, June 28th and 29th. They do have contests over there in the adults, teens, and juniors. So again, fun-filled weekend over there in Houma, Louisiana in a few weeks. If you're looking to travel up to Oklahoma, almost every weekend you will find a celebration taking place. Right now, amongst our Osage relatives, they have their ceremonials that are going on this weekend and throughout the month of June. But in a couple of weeks, we invite you up to Perkins, Oklahoma, amongst the Iowa Tribal Nation. Also, up into Miami, Oklahoma, up there around Joplin, the Missouri, the border. We invite you over to the Peoria Nation over at Buffalo Run Casino, an awesome 2-day or 3-day event, also indoors. I'm liking it for a lot of these powwows back home in Oklahoma. We get to go inside and dance in the AC. But with that, I know our Iron Bow has got a good couple of ice-cold waters down, so we're going to turn it over to them. And our head gourd dancer, Mr. Michael Plumley, is ready with all our gourd dancers. So if you would, Iron Bow gourd dance time right here at the 55th Annual Alabama Coushatta here in beautiful Livingston, Texas.
Thank you, Iron Bow. Gentlemen, we appreciate all the songs that you're singing for us today. At this next set, we're going to spread the blanket out for you guys. So, Josh, our interim arena director for this session, if you would kindly find a blanket before this next session starts. So, again, I thank you very much. Thank you very much for all you Gourd dancers coming out this weekend to support our head Gourd dancer for the weekend. We certainly enjoyed everybody here that's been here. It's always a good homecoming to see our friends and neighbors from different organizations to be here with us this weekend. Good to see all my brothers with the Texas Gulf Coast here this weekend. And thank you guys for coming. They just recently had their annual celebration back in April. I'm sorry I missed it, guys, but we were hosting them down the road somewhere, so I wouldn't been able to make it. So I apologize for that. But they are also members of the Kiowa Taipei Society of Carnegie, Oklahoma, and their celebration is coming up on the July the 2nd all the way to the last day of the 4th. Always a good day of a 3-day powwow Gourd dance throughout the day. I believe the head singers are Leonard Kozad Jr. and Robert Tejano. And Robert Tejano is here this weekend, is here with us. So put that down on your calendar. Once again, that's the Kiowa Taipei Society of Carnegie, Oklahoma, and their annual celebration. Speaking of celebrations, we always have an annual fireworks display this year. But this year they have decided to cancel it this year. I'm not aware, but I believe they've postponed it this year, so we apologize for that. So this year there will be no fireworks display. We certainly are going to miss it because it usually draws a lot of people here. I think we got one more session of Gourd dance to go to, boys. So, and then we'll be taking a break from 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock. That way you can go get you something to eat. We're waiting on members of the Pow Wow Association to come over here, give us directions on. I believe there's a type of a special presentation for the audience from around 4 and 5 o'clock. So, for those of you participating in that, we ask that you get ready, get standby. And that'll begin right around 4 o'clock.
You know, as he made mention, we will have a very special demonstration, I believe, during our supper break time between 4 and 5 o'clock on behalf of Lorraine Guerrero, Indigenous ACE demonstration. So, again, you know, I ask you to stick around for that. As, again, we'll be doing a little bit of, a lot of nonstop action. If you joined us earlier, I believe we had our Aztec relatives also. They were up here this afternoon, and throughout the day, you know, we'll have different things that you'll be witnessing within our arena here. You know, as I made mention earlier, you know, this arena, many different folks and relatives, you know, it's a special place for them. A lot of times you may hear individuals talk about, you know, this powwow way. It's not traditional, or it's not a sacred circle. But, you know, for many different individuals, we all see it differently in different ways, because they talk about that aspect of competition when we come in and we start having contests, that traditional aspect of things, that spiritual aspect of things, you know, it goes out the window. But myself, I don't see it as such, because at the same time, we still use some very sacred items that go along with this. There's still some things that we do in this arena, and we bring that power of prayer into this circle. I still see this place as a very spiritual place. And so a lot of times you may see individuals, you know, maybe walking through our arena, or maybe they'll walk across it, you know, to get to the other side. You know, we just kindly, you know, ask that you maybe walk around. Even, you know, when we come into arena, not to run or not to play. And if that happens, you know, we try to do it in a good way and instruct and let folks know. You know, sometimes you'll see some of our kids, you know, sometimes they'll come in, they'll start playing around. You know, when I grew up, you know, I had a lot of relatives, you know, that would tell us, you know, hey, this is not a place to play. But something about this arena, it's attracted you to it. And so they encouraged. They didn't really discipline. They encouraged. Sometimes they encouraged in a little bit harsher manner. but at the same time, they encouraged us to try to stay close to this arena. And so I want to, not introduce, but recognize, a lot of our royalty that has been coming and dancing. You've been seeing them being honored this afternoon by our head gourd dancer. If we have any royalty in the house, just stand up and wave to the crowd. Let us know where you're at. I've seen some all throughout the crowd. Just wave to the folks and relatives. Let them know where you're at. And I encourage all you good people to come down and introduce yourself and get to know them. Maybe you have some young kids that can come down and you can meet them and they can take pictures with them. But not only that, these young individuals, these young ladies, they're here. They're here early this afternoon. They could be back at home. They could be going to the mall. They could be going to the movies. But they took a responsibility to come and showcase, their talents and the love that they have for the title, the banner that they wear. And so a lot of times, I tell folks to try to encourage them, because again, they are here. They are here to dance and they are here to look good. And so with that, maybe sometimes take them, some food, maybe take them something good to drink, because again, it takes a whole community to sometimes take care of our royalty as they are true ambassadors to maybe our tribe, maybe a society that they represent, their family, their schools, their communities. So that's, another teachings I always like to tell you good people. Again, you don't have to be native to do some of those things. I just encourage you, to watch over our elders. And with that, again, stay hydrated. We do have some water troughs right up here. So come on over. If you need a drink of water, come on over and get you a drink of water. Again, walk around the outside, get you a water, maybe 2, maybe 3. But again, watch out for your fellow spectator, your fellow dancer, singer, spectator, vendor. Always check out for each and every one of us. And again, we think about all of our staff that are helping outside, a lot of the volunteers, we think about them, we appreciate them, and we just want to let them know that we're thinking about them while we're doing, our celebration inside. They're out there hard working throughout the day. And so again, we want to recognize them and let them know that they are thought of. Official powwow time, 3:46. Pete, so again, this next set, we'll spread the blanket for you guys here. And so the blanket, we'll take it right out here. Josh Guerrero is going to take this blanket. And he plays this blanket out here. And again, we're going to ask all you good relatives if you've enjoyed the singing that has been taking place, you've enjoyed your time here, you can come out, you can place $1 upon this blanket, and those proceeds will go directly to our singers. It won't come to anybody else but those singers for providing this beautiful music. As I made mention earlier, this drum, these songs, they have its own way of healing, making people feel a little bit better than they did when they walked in here this afternoon. And we hope that you take that blessing with you as you leave, maybe as you go home, something to talk about. Maybe you have a relative that's at home that's not feeling quite well, that couldn't enjoy it, coming today. But you can take these stories of what you witnessed and what you saw, what you heard, and share with them. And it might make them feel, maybe they'll receive that blessing also and make them feel a little bit better the same way you felt. And so as we encourage our individuals, and you'll see many different individuals, you do not have to be native. You do not have to have an outfit on, but we just ask that you kindly walk out here and place a gift on this blanket. You will be blessed tenfold in God's time, for whatever donation you do give to these guys here. It'll help them out, get back to Oklahoma. It'll help them maybe get a cup of coffee, maybe a Red Bull, or maybe they can stop at Buc-ee's and get some beaver nuggets. Man, if you've never been to Buc-ee's, you got to stop at Buc-ee's. That is a must stop. There's about 3 of them on the way back to Oklahoma where I'm from, and I'm guaranteeing going to stop at each one because they got the best snacks that you can get on the Pow Wow Trail. I think I even have about 5 or 6 Buc-ee's t-shirts in my closet, I tell you. All the time. We even got a neck pillow from Buc-ee's. So we're going to turn it over to 2 songs. As this is going to close us out for the afternoon, and then we'll start at 5 o'clock. So this will be the last 2 songs, and we appreciate that donation. So the last 2 songs are going to go for this blanket dance, and we'll pause for the cause. We'll have our good friends Lorray up here. And so with that, it's Gourd Dance time this afternoon here at the 55th Annual Alabama Coushatta Celebration. Gourd Dance time. Yeah. right there. How about a round of applause for Iron Bow singers as well as all of our Gourd dancers here on this beautiful Saturday afternoon at the 55th Annual Alabama Coushatta Summer Celebration right here. Man, I tell you what, Iron Bow is bringing the heat for your feet right here. Man, I tell you what, some awesome, awesome singing right here. Again, as we bring a curtain down to our Gourd dance session this afternoon, we will come back at 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock, we're going to take a little break for our singers to get a little bit of food before the full evening session gets underway. Again, all the proceeds that were collected on this blanket, we want to say thank you and God bless each and every one of you. Again, that you will be blessed, tenfold, for that donation. And those proceeds will go directly to our singers. Again, as it helps them get down the road, it may help them get maybe a snow cone or, something, but it's just a small token of appreciation. And on behalf of our Iron Bow singers, I want to say thank you guys for that donation. So with that, we will turn the microphone over here shortly to good brother Delores Gabbard. Again, no stranger to our Pow Wow circle and our community around in the good state of Texas. And again, stick around for all our festivities, but patronize all of our food vendors, as again, this will be one of the few times that we will be able to, grab a good bite to eat. But also, I did hear that Hunt Brothers, I believe, are back. I heard that they got more. Okay, so singers and Gourd dancers, we'd like to invite you. Where are they going to do that? Right back over here. Okay, so by the white tent, we invite you guys over there, singers and our Gourd dancers, to get a good quick bite to eat. We'll come back at 5 o'clock. And also to all of our royalty, remember, right after drum roll call at 6:15, we will allow you to introduce yourself. So come on back here shortly. Patronize all of our food vendors and patronize all of our arts and crafts vendors. And with that, we'll pause for the cause, and we'll have the turn the microphone over to Delores Gabbard here very, very shortly.
One, two, test, 1, 2, test, 1, 2.
Testing. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we know that we're going to give our singers just a little bit break here. And in the meantime, we have a group here that I am the founder and president of. It's called Indigenous ACE, which stands for Arts, Culture, and Education. We're based primarily out of Dallas, and we're a performance group based where we have very many different tribes within our group, and that perform with us. Many of our performers are right here from Livingston, Texas, from the Alabama Coushatta people. We have people from the Coushatta, Comanche. I mean, all over the United States, we have tribes that come and dance with us. And so what we do is we try to give an educational aspect to the performances. So what we're going to be doing momentarily here for about the next 45 minutes or so is we're going to be showcasing some of the dance styles that you will see here this evening at 6:30 with our grand entry. A lot of times these powwows, they're held on a tight schedule, so there's not a whole lot of time for explanation and to go through the different styles and talk about their origins and where they come from. So that's what we want to do, and why we were asked to perform here during this supper break for the singers and our gourd dancers was to give you a little bit more explanation of what you'll see this evening. Now, what you're going to see is our powwow style of dancing. This is our social style of dancing. These are not our ceremonies, but they do have roots into some of our ceremonies. So these are the social dances that we do, and the public is welcome to come to. Now, obviously, a lot of our ceremonies, those are held in private, just like if you would go to your church. It's the same for us. So the singers are going to be gathering around the drum. Our dancers are finalizing their dressing here. And we'll even do some crowd participation. But before we begin, I'd like to introduce myself in my native tongue. Piwo, Naapepe, Lore Guerrero, Nkelekewa, Mima, Yisa, and Nde. What I said in my native tongue is hello, good day. My name is Lore Guerrero, and I come from the Halawasponi people of Hollister, North Carolina, and the Apache people of Mescalero, New Mexico. So, thank you all for being here. I hope you enjoy the powwow. I hope you enjoy the show. Our dancers from Indigenous Ace will hang around a little bit if you want to come and ask questions, take pictures, anything of that sort. Like I said, we perform not only here in Texas, we perform all over the country. And actually, we're in the process of going to Australia to perform for the First Nations people in Australia. So we're supposed to be doing that in December. So it's just all about education, and we want people to know that we're not something that's in a history book and a thing of the past, that we are a living, breathing people. And it's not that we're here showcasing our culture, that we're better than anyone else, but we want to be put on the same pedestal, just like any other race of this country. And actually, we're the first race of this country. We're the First Nations people of this country. So the land that your house is built upon is native land. And it was our land, and we're the original stewards of the land. And there's an old prophecy that says when things get bad and Mother Earth is frustrated and she unleashes her wrath, and we see those things through her